Okay, so you have to say something nice to Lele for her birthday.
Okay, something nice to Lele.
Oh, really?
She's the sweetest love bug. She's so nurturing. She's so loving. She's so beautiful. I love her. I love you, Lele.
You guys, we need to talk about Austin McBroom's recent live stream because the awkwardness was absolutely through the roof. Austin just threw his daughter Aya's 7th birthday party, and while it looked like a beautiful celebration on the surface with all the decorations, food, and activities, there were some seriously uncomfortable moments that have the entire internet talking. From the overly emotional speeches to the tension you could literally feel through the screen, this whole thing felt completely different now that Paiz has moved on with her new husband Igore. And honestly, watching this unfold in real time was like watching a reality TV show that nobody asked for. So let's get into everything that went down, because trust me, there's a lot to unpack here.
Jumpers. So Lele requested this huge slide.
So first, let me set the scene for you guys. Austin went absolutely all out for Aya's 7th birthday party. We're talking massive inflatable jumpers that took up his entire backyard, a full squishy themed setup because apparently that's what Aya requested, professional food vendors including his favorite burger spot and a taco station, custom decorations with Aya's name in glow-in-the-dark letters, and even a station where kids could make their own squishies. Like, this party probably cost more than most people's weddings, and Austin made sure to show off every single detail on his Twitch livestream. He was walking around giving the grand tour, showing the viewers the setup before Aya arrived because he wanted to surprise her. He kept talking about how he and his assistant Ray always try to make the kid's birthday special, and how they work hard to execute whatever theme the birthday kid wants. And look, on paper, this all sounds really sweet. A dad going all out for his daughter's birthday? That's beautiful. That's what you're supposed to do as a parent.
I need you to say something really nice to Lele for her birthday.
No!
Come on, bro.
No.
It's your sister.
But here's where things started feeling off from the very beginning. Austin was filming everything. Every moment, every detail, every interaction was being broadcast live to thousands of people on Twitch. And while he's done this before for other family events, this one felt different. This was the first major family gathering since Catherine got married to Igore just weeks ago, and you could sense that Austin was hyper aware of that fact. The way he was presenting everything felt less like, look at this amazing party I threw for my daughter, and more like, look at me being the perfect dad despite everything that's happened. When Catherine showed up to drop off Aya and the other kids, the energy completely shifted. You could feel it even through the screen. Catherine looked absolutely stunning as always, and Aya came in looking like a little princess, with her hair beautifully done and a cute outfit. Austin made a big deal about how beautiful Aya looked and complimented her hair, but when it came to acknowledging Catherine, it was minimal at best. Catherine kind of stayed in the background, didn't really engage with Austin on camera, and the whole interaction felt stiff and forced. Now, I'm not saying they needed to be best friends or act like they're still together, but the tension was palpable. It was one of those moments where you're watching and you're like, okay, everybody's trying really hard to act normal, but nothing about this is normal. And then, y'all, Igore was there. Catherine's new husband was at the party. Austin's ex-wife's new husband was at their daughter's birthday party. Now look, in an ideal co-parenting situation, this should be fine, right? Blended families exist. Stepmoms and stepdads attend events. It's part of the deal. But considering everything that's happened in the past few weeks, Austin's emotional breakdowns about Catherine's wedding, him hinting that the marriage was fake and for immigration purposes, the constant back and forth on social media, having Igore there made everything feel incredibly uncomfortable. You could tell Austin was trying to be mature about it. He was being civil. He wasn't causing a scene, but there was this underlying tension that never went away. It was like watching people walk on eggshells for an entire birthday party.
You gotta ask Ryan.
Congratulations.
$5. You gotta say something really nice to Lele for her birthday.
Oh, okay. I love you so much.
Okay, so this is where things got really weird and really uncomfortable. Austin decided that he wanted everyone at the party to say something nice to Aya on camera. Every single person. Family members, friends, cousins, his mom, his stepdad, Catherine's family, literally everyone had to get in front of the camera and say something sweet to Aya for her birthday while Austin filmed it all. Now at first, this seems like a cute idea. Getting birthday wishes from everyone you love? That's adorable! But the execution was so awkward. Austin was going around literally hunting people down, making them stop what they were doing, pulling them in front of the camera, and forcing them to come up with something heartfelt on the spot. Some people handled it well, but others were clearly uncomfortable being put on the spot like that. His mom said something sweet about Aya being sensitive and loving. His stepdad talked about how Aya has the biggest heart of all the grandkids. His friends and family members all said nice things. But then it got really interesting when Austin made his brother Landon participate. And if you've been following the McBroom family drama, you know that Landon just said some wild stuff about how he could never be a stepdad, even though his girlfriend Sophia is literally being a stepmom to his daughter. So watching him try to be sweet and sincere on camera felt especially ironic. But the most uncomfortable moment? When Austin made Igor say something nice to Aya. Y'all, the tension! Here's Austin, who literally just weeks ago was crying on camera about Catherine's wedding and suggesting it was fake, now making her new husband say something sweet to his daughter on a live stream. Igor handled it pretty well. He said something about Aya being lovely and sweet, but you could tell everyone watching was thinking the same thing. This is so weird.
I just want you to know that I love you so much. No one will ever love you more than your dad, okay?
And then came Austin's turn to say something to Aya. And honestly, this is where people really started questioning his motives. Austin got super emotional, telling Aya that no one will ever love her more than her dad does. He said he'll always be there for her no matter what, that he's so proud of everything she does, that she makes everything easy for him, and that he's the luckiest dad in the world. He was getting choked up, his voice was cracking, and Aya was just standing there, looking at him. Now look, there's nothing wrong with a father being emotional and expressing love for his daughter. That's beautiful. That's what dads should do. But the way Austin did it, the timing of it, the fact that it was all on camera for thousands of people to see, the fact that it came right after Catherine's wedding and his very public breakdowns about it, it all felt performative. It felt less like a genuine moment between father and daughter and more like Austin trying to prove something to the internet. Prove that he's a good dad. Prove that he's handling everything well. Prove that he's the stable parent. People in the comments were immediately divided. Some were like, this is so sweet. Austin really loves his kids, and you can tell. But others were calling him out, saying things like, why does every emotional moment need to be filmed and broadcast? And this feels like it's more about Austin than it is about Aya. And honestly, they have a point, because this is part of a pattern with Austin. When Catherine was talking about the pain he caused her through his cheating, he wasn't this emotional. When she was crying in interviews about how he gaslit her and made her feel crazy, he was defensive and combative. But now that she's moved on, found happiness with someone else, and is clearly doing well without him, suddenly he's the emotional victim who's so devoted to his kids. It doesn't quite add up.
Want to stand up right here? Okay, we're gonna light this, okay?
Wait,
You want to get on the side?
On
On the side.
The reactions to this live stream have been all over the place. And honestly, it's been fascinating to watch. On one hand, you have people praising Austin for putting his feelings aside and maintaining a civil co-parenting relationship. They're giving him credit for allowing Igor at the party, for throwing a beautiful birthday for Aya, and for trying to keep things drama-free for the sake of the kids. These people are essentially saying, look, whatever happened between Austin and Catherine is between them, but at least he's being mature about it now. But on the other hand, you have a whole group of people who are not buying what Austin is selling. They're pointing out that this is the same man who was posting crying videos just days before this party, the same man who suggested Catherine's wedding was fake and rushed for immigration purposes, the same man who accused her of cheating with Igor while they were still married. And now he wants credit for being the bigger person? The hypocrisy is not lost on people. One comment that really stood out to me said, Austin wants sympathy for being heartbroken, but he's the one who destroyed the marriage. Catherine didn't post crying videos when he was cheating on her while she was pregnant, but now that she's happy, he can't handle it and needs everyone to see his pain. It's manipulative. Another person wrote, the fact that he filmed every second of this party and made everyone say something nice on camera shows this wasn't about Aya. This was about Austin controlling the narrative and showing the internet that he's fine. And then there were people calling out the awkwardness of the whole Igor situation. Someone said, "I would not want to attend my stepdaughter's party with her father live streaming everything while he's been publicly trashing my marriage. Igor is a better person than me because I would have stayed home."
Today, as you can see, I'm not crashing out. I am back to the Austin MCBROOM.
This birthday party drama is just the latest example of the MCBROOM family's bigger issues. And if you've been following this family for any amount of time, you know that accountability is not their strong suit. Just recently, we talked about how Landon went on Snapchat and said he could never be a stepdad because his ego wouldn't allow it. He said it's a man thing and that men want their women to only have their children. Meanwhile, his girlfriend Sophia is actively being a stepmother to his daughter from a previous relationship. The hypocrisy was insane, and Sophia called him out for it right there on camera. But did Landon apologize or reflect on his double standards? Nope. He just doubled down and said most men feel the same way. Then we have Austin's mom, who instead of telling her son to work on being faithful and fixing his issues after his breakup with Alexa, told him that he has lots of opportunities and to be selective. Like, ma'am, selective is not the problem. The problem is that your son has a pattern of cheating and self-destructing relationships. But instead of addressing that, she's out here acting like he just needs to find the right woman, as if the right woman will magically make him stop cheating. This family has a pattern of making excuses, avoiding accountability, and performing for the camera instead of doing actual internal work. And this birthday party felt like another example of that pattern. Austin wants everyone to see him as the devoted father who's handling his divorce with grace. But he's not actually doing the work to be that person. He's just performing the role for views and sympathy. At the end of the day, the saddest part of all of this is that Aya, Steele, and Elle are caught in the middle of their parents' very public drama. And while Austin keeps saying everything he does is for the kids, is it really? Aya looked genuinely happy at her party. She was smiling, playing with her friends, going down the massive slide, making squishies, and enjoying her birthday. She's 7 years old and should be able to just be a kid without worrying about adult drama. But how is that possible when every family moment is being live streamed to thousands of strangers? When her dad is making people say nice things to her on camera? When there's visible tension between her parents? These kids are growing up with cameras constantly in their faces. Their parents' relationship drama playing out online, and strangers on the internet having opinions about their family. That's not normal, and it's not healthy. Austin keeps saying he wants to protect his kids and be there for them, but then he turns around and broadcasts their private family moments to the world. You can't have it both ways. And here's what really gets me. Catherine has been relatively quiet through all of this. She's not posting crying videos. She's not going on rants about Austin. She's not trying to control the narrative. She got married, she's living her life, and she's moving forward. Meanwhile, Austin is the one who can't seem to let go. He's the one making everything public. He's the one creating drama where there doesn't need to be drama. So what does all of this mean for the future of this very messy co-parenting situation? Honestly, I don't see things getting less awkward anytime soon. Austin is clearly still struggling with Catherine moving on. He can put on a brave face, throw elaborate parties, and play the role of the mature co-parent. But the cracks are showing. We know Austin just broke up with Alexa, and people speculated that it was partially because he couldn't stop talking about Catherine's wedding. If that's true, it means Austin is actively sabotaging his own relationships because he's not over his ex-wife. And until he actually deals with those feelings privately, instead of performing his emotions for the internet, nothing is going to change. Catherine, on the other hand, seems to be in a completely different place emotionally. She's married, she appears happy, and she's not engaging in the back-and-forth drama. If anything, the fact that she's not constantly on social media talking about Austin shows a level of maturity and boundaries that he clearly doesn't have yet. The next few months are going to be interesting to watch. Will Austin actually take time to work on himself like he keeps claiming? Or will he jump into another relationship and repeat the same patterns? Will these co-parenting events continue to be awkward and tense? Or will they eventually find a rhythm that works? And most importantly, will these kids be able to have normal childhood experiences without everything being turned into content? So what do you guys think about all of this? Was Austin genuinely trying to create a good environment for Aya's birthday, and people are just being too harsh? Or was this another performance for the cameras designed to make him look like the victim? Do you think the awkwardness between Austin and Catherine is going to get worse before it gets better? And honestly, should these family events be kept private and off social media entirely for the sake of the kids? I want to hear all your thoughts in the comments below, because this situation is messy, and there are so many different perspectives on it. Some people think Austin deserves credit for being civil and throwing a nice party. Others think he's manipulative and performative. And then there are people who just feel bad for the kids who are growing up in this circus. Personally, I think Austin needs to take a real break from social media and actually work on himself instead of performing growth for the internet. I think these kids deserve to have their special moments without thousands of strangers watching and commenting. And I think Catherine is handling this entire situation with way more grace than most people would, especially considering everything Austin put her through during their marriage. But at the end of the day, this is their life. These are their kids, and they have to figure out what works for their family. I just hope that whatever they decide to do, they put those kids first for real, not just for the camera. Alright, you guys, that's all I have for today on this very awkward, very uncomfortable birthday party situation. If anything else comes out about the MCBROOM family drama, and let's be real, something always comes out, you know I'll keep you updated and break it all down for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.